Hey, welcome back. Welcome to the Much About Nothing podcast, the show where we talk much about anything and everything. The NFL is back, and so are we. I am Hemp. We got Corey at the top, Hoodie at the bottom. Today we're gonna we're gonna talk about what happened last week. We're gonna talk about a little bit what's gonna happen this week, and we're just gonna talk a little bit of ball. What you got, Corey?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Not like the song, but we are back in the house. I'm happy to be back. Happy to talk football. What I do best. Only you, LT.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Happy to be back live on the show. Talk about some football. It's a happy time. I love fall season. I love hoodie season. Football is in the air.
Oh, that was clever, man. I like that. I like that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, check this out, right? I think we start this show off and we go into our 2 minute drill, man. Let's talk about what happened this week.
All right. All right. You gonna kick it off first with
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it off. Bears and the Titans.
all right.
All right, so this is the question I'm gonna propose to you in this quick 2 minute drill. What did you think about the Bears and Titans game?
I mean, the most interesting thing that I was looking at obviously was Caleb Williams. I wanted to see what Caleb Williams looked like. Did he look like he was gonna be a problem in the NFC North? And I can't say he doesn't look really that good, man. If it wasn't for the guy on the other side that played horrible, like trash, oh my God, I do not know what he was doing. I had a nerve to think I was going to trade for him in fantasy football. That guy was garbage. Oh, geez, I'm glad I ain't made that mistake. Y'all would have been clowning me. But Caleb Williams, 90, I think 93 yards. Ah, and they wanted to celebrate and say, yeah, he's the first rookie quarterback to be drafted first overall and win their first game. I mean, did he win it? That's my question. I think that defense showed up and showed out, and they took what was given to them. Literally, the ball was given to them, and they took it. Only you, LT.
Yeah, I watched the game. Me and Jamie sat down. Jamie was a Titan fan. He was very frustrated and irritated with Will Levis. He made a few boneheaded mistakes. That play, that pick six that he did a few drives early, he did the exact same thing, but it wasn't picked off. It was a back and forth game, a lot of punting. It was a lot of good defense. I ain't gonna put it too much on Caleb Williams because the Tennessee Titans, they had a top four defense last year, even with a bad offense. But it was just a defensive battle. It could have been called an offensive struggle, but the quarterback play, it wasn't there. That bonehead pick that he threw and put his hands on his head and explained the whole game, man.
Hey, look here, man. Going into the first game of the season, the Titans had one big question mark, and it was Will Levis. And I've said this to you, Corey, several times. I didn't know whether he was. I don't know whether he's Josh Allen or Carson Wentz. I think he's Carson Wentz. I think he's Carson Wentz. Um, the Titans do not have a quarterback, and they'll be digging into the draft early to find one next season. The Bears with Caleb. I mean, we won't know whether Caleb is any good until this week because I think that they were trying. They didn't have to do a lot. They just had to not lose the game. Titans coach said it best. They would have had a better chance if they had punted it on first down every time. They gonna hit a better chance.
Yeah, wait. I mean, this is the problem, though. I just want to mention this. This is the problem with having defense coordinators as the first time head coach for a rookie. Really, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a problem. Like, how does that help your rookie out anyway? I mean, if anything, you need to show. I mean, it's one thing at the end of the day, me and LT don't see eye to eye, but I can't agree. He dislike the dislike he has for Brian Flores. Brian Flores did not support Tua. I do believe a quarterback as a rookie in first time, he needs the support of his head coach. That goes hand in hand. And truthfully, your livelihood is tied to him. He is your lifeline. If he doesn't make it, you don't make it. Y'all can't survive without each other. For to tear him down is just stupidity to me.
Hey, neither one of them make it out alive. Neither one of them make it out alive here. Go on to the next game, man. Saints 47, Panthers 10. What you got? You first, Hoodie.
Carolina and is in a disarray. Their organization is bad. The decision making they made in the offseason makes you scratch your head. And they still went out there with their quarterback. I just don't see it happening. I seen the offensive lineman tackle the quarterback. It was just terrible play. Bryce, he just ain't got it, man. He was a number 1 overall pick. He just ain't got it. Throwing it in the dirt, most of the time taking sacks. The Saints, they just won easily. Easy win. Too easy. I don't think Carolina wins a football game. I think they actually get blown out every single time that they play. Their defense is bad, their offense is bad, the decision making in the offseason was horrible. They spent all that money on their offensive line and didn't get anything.
There's worse ways to throw money at. What you got, Corey?
Well, I'm gonna agree with Hoodie, man. They're gonna have that first round pick again this year. Yes, they will. They are trash.
At least they don't go to Chicago this year.
Yeah. At least they get to keep this one. I mean, they are trash. The numbers was he was 13 for 30. Why did he throw the ball 30 times? It couldn't get no better. 161 yards, 2 interceptions. Oh my God. It was horrible. It was no sign. I don't see anything good about this team. I mean, they don't allude anything for me to make me want to turn on the TV and watch them. I do not want to watch the Carolina Panthers play football this year. Nothing about them makes me want to watch them. They are horrible in all facets of the game. They are horrible. I don't want to watch the special teams. I don't want to watch the defense. Only thing I want to watch them is going off.
Actually, the highlight of the team was their kickoff guy. He had over 200 yards because they scored so many points on them. Blackshear had over 200 yards in kick return yards, more than the whole offense.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. You know, the funny thing is, it's two teams that most of us expected to lose coming in to Sunday, and it was Carolina and New England. Now, I'm gonna tell you, Carolina was worse than expected. Like their best rusher had 22 yards, their best receiver had 49. Just a bad football team, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to the next one. Is there anything positive you want to say about the Saints? Because I don't know. Anything positive?
I mean, it's hard to judge them. It's hard to judge them because the Panthers are so paltry. It's hard for me to get any statement on that game. What I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I got to see them play again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got to see them. They could be excellent, but not against the Panthers. I'm sorry. They just not good.
You play what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, 19 for 23, 200 yards. He ain't had to do a whole lot. But anyway, if you play in your office pool, you can go all the way through from this week to week 17 and put an L wherever you see Carolina Panthers. It don't matter who they play. They probably not gonna beat nobody.
I wish I had to play them. I wish when Vikings get a chance at them, man. We missed out. Everybody want a piece of that. Everybody want.
Speaking of, and listen, look, the Giants ain't much better. So we're going to, in a 2-minute drill. Let's go to the Vikings Giants. So y'all had a chance at the Giants. What you think about it, Corey?
Sam Darnold. I just want to
We gonna do this.
say I was the person. I was the one. I was the one that said Sam Darnold is going to be a top 15 quarterback. I was the one that said if you put him in a situation that he has never seen before, I even think, hey, y'all know I hate Bryce Young. Bryce Young in this situation will be a top 15 quarterback because you have everything around him for him to succeed. You don't need to be great when you build a team around a guy. You know what I'm saying? The way that we have done. And if only we had JJ McCartney, we might have did some damage. I don't got us doing much, but going to the playoffs and losing sadly. But next year. But yeah, the Giants are a horrible team, just like the Panthers. I ain't gonna lie. It's some trash, hot garbage. Daniel Jones, yeah, he getting what he deserved. Yeah, I'm glad y'all paid him. Thought he was good. No, he's not. He's trash. He's a running back. He's a running back in quarterback clothes. Only UNFT.
I think the Giants is a bad organization to choose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley 3 touchdowns. I don't think the Giants scored a touchdown. Not sure if they did. The Vikings defense did look like a powerhouse defense. It looked like a top 10 defense. I don't like Brian Flores as a head coach, but he is a pretty good defensive coordinator. Just to be paired up with Andrew Van Ginkel once again and the other pass rushers over there, it's a pretty formidable defense. I can't lie. Also, getting the veteran and Gilmore to take control of the leadership role. They lost a few corners over the offseason, so to get a veteran in there, show the secondary how to move, how to be in the right position. I think the Vikings gonna have a pretty good defense, top 10 to 15 defense.
Oh my. Oh my. I ain't ready to go there with it. But congratulations. You held a professional football team to 240 yards and 6 points. Congratulations to that, Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Moving on. Next one. Bills and the Cardinals.
Mm.
Now, Corey, I'm gonna let you go first again on this one because I know you've been a Marvin Harrison truther. What do you think about this Cardinals game?
I mean, for all you fantasy football players, I'm one of the ones I have Marvin Harrison in just about every league. But it's 1 week. I'm not going to panic. At the end of the day, I saw Marvin Harrison open just like everybody that watched the game. It was a point of getting him the ball. I'm pretty sure they're going to stress this weekend that Kyler Murray's job is to get him the ball. There's no way you draft a player like that, number 4 overall, and him to be open, you not to throw it to him. That is a problem, and I'm pretty sure they're going to stress it. And I'm pretty sure he felt it after the game with all the questions he was getting about it. Then you see Marvin Harrison for the game-winning touchdown. How isn't that the first person you looking at in that position? For him to be wide open, waving his hands, screaming, throw me the ball, and you to miss that is crazy. It's ridiculous. But I do believe the Cardinals handed this game away. They started off hot, but it basically came down to the fact that they could not stop Josh Allen from running the ball. At the end of the day, whenever they needed a first down, whenever they needed a play, they called on that horse and he knew he could do it. He was not scared of them. He was not afraid of them. He put the fear of God in them. I'm gonna be honest. I seen one jump when he ran it in the end zone. He stood up to a linebacker, screamed in his face, and the linebacker didn't want to meet that man's eyes. That is called the fear of God. You did not want to look that man in the eye.
Well, here goes my take on it. I think it was all about that Buffalo defense. They sacked Kyler Murray 4 times. We all know Kyler Murray don't like to get hit. Thing 2, I think that you're going to see a lot of these games from Marvin Harrison because it's one thing that I noticed in this game. They only had 2 passes over 20 yards. Marvin Harrison is going to operate in that deeper field because you got Greg Dortch underneath. You got Trey McBride underneath. So the fact of the matter that Kyler Murray ain't throwing the ball over 20 yards, get used to Marvin Harrison disappointing on a weekly basis. I don't think that he's a bad player. I think that until they figure out how to protect Kyler Murray better, the ball won't go down the field. Yep. All right, the next one we got up, Patriots Bengals.
Hold on.
Oh,
LT
what you
didn't
got?
get nothing
Oh,
on.
oh, you didn't get it?
I think, like Corey said, for the fantasy owners, I wouldn't panic, but I wouldn't start him. I think the best wide receiver on that team is Michael Wilson. He looks like a professional in his second year. But the thing is, I don't know. He one catch for 4 yards, 60 minutes of football, and we can sit here and go on and on about he was open on one play. But that was the last minutes of the game. What happened the other
They,
50 minutes? We
they
talking
look,
about
man.
that last minute or two, but what about the whole game? He couldn't do anything. Couldn't get open. And one thing about Kyler Murray, he doesn't hit the outside numbers. Most of his passes are in the inside between the hash marks. I don't see much coming from him. I do like Michael Wilson. And the thing about Josh Allen, I ain't gonna stay on long. He's just a superhero. He knows how to win football games. It doesn't matter. You can take his best pieces away. He'll win games. That's how I feel about it.
18 for 23.
18 for
Solid.
20.
I mean, solid football. But you know what? There's a common thread between all these numbers that we talk about. Quarterbacks really didn't do a whole lot.
No.
And I'm gonna tell you something else that I noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed this. It seemed like the players got a little bit smaller. Everybody losing weight. You think that's affecting the game a little bit? Everybody's getting smaller. Everybody's trying to get faster. Everybody's trying to get. I mean, I think the game is. I don't know. It just looked a little different.
In my honest opinion, what's affecting the game the most is this new call that the NFL is starting to be strict on. It's saying that they're calling a lot of penalties. I think it was like 25. If I'm not mistaken, it was 25 at least by our game of what is called lineup. They were lineup issues.
Illegal formations.
That is a problem because at the end of the day, these people are not able to line back and they're getting beat. There's a lot of pressure coming. So I think offense is trying to mitigate for that and trying to run the ball more, keep things low until they get this situation handled. But I don't think anybody knew that was going to be an issue. We had a couple in our game. It's not like it's just they are stressing this. That tackle helmet has to be to the butt of that center. It has to be. It's a must happen. Yep.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, here goes another thing that I noticed, right? So we bargained over these extra preseason games, but nobody's playing the preseason. And so this is the first time we're seeing these guys line up, and they look. I think it's gonna take a few weeks before we get some good football, real professional football. All right, so here we go. Patriots Bengals. What you got, Corey?
Oh man, Patriots Bengals. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you were the first to say it. It was gonna be a problem for the Bengals regardless. When you take away a guy weapons, and at the end of the day, he's coming off an injury. I mean, Joe Burrow, I mean, he tried his best, but at the end of the day, that Patriots defense is the best thing about him. At the end of the day, I'm not going to act like the Patriots defense is not great at football. If anything about them, that's the one thing that they can hang their head on. That defense is not the problem. And I can tell you one thing, your boy, he's not going to lose the game. Jacoby Brissett is not going to lose a game. He might not be great at winning you a game, but what he will not do is lose a game. He will come out and do the things that's necessary to get the job done. That's what they did. The Patriots leaned on their defense, ran the ball, got enough done just to win. And that's what they're gonna have to replicate this over and over again if they want to do anything. But at the end of the day, it's kind of paltry on offense.
Hey, listen, I like Jacoby. I think Jacoby's okay. I wouldn't say he's good. I wouldn't say he's bad. I think he's okay. But that's not why the game played out the way it played out. The game played out the way it played out is because historically, Cincinnati plays these games when it comes to signing their star players. That's what it comes down to. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Like you didn't pay Jamar Chase. He messed around. He's not gonna practice. He's not gonna do this. He's not gonna do this. Now his stomach hurt. It's all types of stuff, and he's not showing up. You got the same situation going on with T. Higgins. At some point, Cincinnati, if they want to be a professional team, they can't just hope to get lucky in the draft. You got to pay somebody. Like, you got to spend the money. It is what it is. I say this all the time. It is a privilege to be able to pay somebody at the top of their position. That means you did something right. You did something right. When you get to the point where you can pay a top 3 left tackle, you did something right. You can pay a top 3 receiver, you did something right. And that's where they at with it. They got to spend the money.
But I mean, it costs, man. It costs to be the boss. And what they asking to go out, I don't think it's possible, right? To pay a top 5 quarterback and to at the end of the day, T. Higgins, he doesn't care about the numbers because his argument is going to be that I'm on the field with Jamar Chase. I'm gonna bring up these numbers how I look when Jamar Chase is not on the field. When Jamar Chase is not on the field, I look like a top 5 receiver. So that's the numbers he's going to press. So he's going to say, I need to be paid as such because I'm staying with this team. And the only reason why you're not seeing me put up these numbers is because I'm on a team with another top 5 receiver. He's going to argue that and argue his money. And I think at the end of the day, they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, how they cake and eat it too.
Hey Corey, you know the answer is if you want to pay people on a Ricky scale contract, then trade them guys for Rickies. I'm pretty sure you can get a bunch of Rickies for them. Like that's really where we at with it. Get a man the money or trade him for some Rickies. Like that's all it is to it. I don't know what T. Higgins is asking for, but if it was within reason, I think they would have paid him already. So it's probably not reasonable. Moving on to the what you got?
I don't like that because we had a touch on a situation where I don't like when I think players they're gonna ask for what they feel like they worth. I don't like criticizing players for asking what they think they're worth. Brandon Ayuk was like criticized over and over again. We don't know how much he was asking for, but at the end of the day, if that player thinks he's worth this much and somebody's willing to pay it, he has the right to demand it. At the end of the day, if you don't like it, you don't want to pay him, trade him to somebody that will.
Mm-hmm. I listen. I agree with you on that part, but I look at the NFL salary cap along the lines of a pizza, and there's only so much pizza that can go around. There's only so much pizza. When a guy wants a third of the pie, when he wants a third of the pie, that's less pizza to pass around. And so, yeah, here goes the thing, right? I get it. Brandon Ayuk need to get his money. And maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I will say this. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be conducive to winning. I think there's a recipe to roster construction. The teams that win a lot, they follow the recipe. The teams that don't win a lot, they don't follow the recipe. It is what it is. All right, going to our next one, man. My favorite game of the week: the Texans versus the Colts. Hoodie, it's on you.
Texans against the Colts. I ain't gonna lie, that was during the Dolphin game. I didn't watch it. I was looking off to the side. I did see Richardson on some deep passes to Alec Pierce. It's an exciting game, a good division game. C.J. Stroud with his new weapons, Joe Mixon. Um, Richardson, he looked like a grown man out there. He was able to step up, take the hit, get in the end zone. All in all, Houston had too many weapons, man.
What do you think, Corey?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this came down to Joe Mixon looks great in that offense, man. Joe Mixon looks like he fit right in and he's loved. They want to run the ball. To carry the ball 30 times for 159 yards and a touchdown in this day and age, I thought we was moving away from bell cows. It seemed like he is one. Hey, yeah, I think he's gonna have a year. They brung in the receivers, but they seem to say we're going to lean on this run game, and we're going to pound the rock, and we're going to play action off of that. They're going to be a tough offense to stop. When you can run the ball like that, and you have weapons on the outside like that, it's going to be tough to slow this team down. But they seem to have a problem stopping Anthony Richardson, and we know. You got to go through Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a better Anthony Richardson. When they get in this playoffs, if you can't slow down Anthony Richardson, what makes you think you're going to slow down Josh Allen?
Hey, that's a good point, man.
That's a good point.
I'm going to tell you this. When Cincinnati got rid of Joe Mixon and the Texans gave him money on top of it, I thought it was precarious. I was like, who does that? Because nobody does that. But that right there showed that they showed that Joe Mixon that we plan on using you, and Joe Mixon said, "I appreciate the money," and he delivered on what they asked. Last year, we depended heavily. I'm not saying the Texans depended heavily on C.J. Stroud passing the ball. This year, it looked like they can have a balanced offense, and that's scary. That's scary news. It's scary hours for the rest of the NFL. Also, I will say I think we've seen a change in the guard because that Colts team is good too. And that's what we saw. That Colts team is good. And they're multidimensional. Their defense has always been good. We didn't know what we had with Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to say that Anthony Richardson is going to be a quality passer at any point. But, man.
The deep ball.
The things that he can do. Incredible. The things he can do is incredible. All right. Dolphins, Jaguars. We got to go to Hoodie first for this one. What you got, man?
Good game. Good game. It was tight. It was tough. It was a nail biter. It felt like the Dolphins couldn't score, couldn't put points on the board. Missed a late field goal. Kind of seemed like the game was going to be out of reach. But Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek, incredible duo. Probably the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the NFL. He was able to make it happen. But it's remnants of last year, how the Miami Dolphins was a second half team, so many comeback victories. Just being able to just get the job done late in games, coming together, the camaraderie. Got a lot of veterans on that team, and seeing the leadership on the sidelines, guys motivating people, keeping their heads up, keeping their heads up, keeping their cleats to the ground, and not giving up. It's always fans for the win again. Good try by the Jaguars. You know, they tried. They really did try. But I think another reason I think that the Dolphins are so well at playing late in the game is because it's the way the field is made. Them guys are in the sun. The team that's playing against us are in the sun, and we in the shade. And I think that's pretty much the reason why we able to play for have the endurance to play for all 4 quarters. And other teams after the halftime they just get tired. At third quarter they tired. But it was a good game, man. Good win.
So they done built their stadium like an Aztec temple, huh? He's gonna burn them boys up for after.
Burn them boys up, man. It was 93 out there. Burn them up.
90, yeah, okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Y'all should have gave the game ball to Travis Etienne. Jacksonville didn't play that bad.
You stole my jump, man. Dang.
Yeah. The Dolphins didn't per se win. Travis Etienne played a big part in losing that game.
I mean, he didn't fumble by himself. Somebody came and punched the ball out. Javon Howard.
You got to wrap up in that situation.
Yeah, man.
You got to wrap up in that situation.
Keep it high and tight.
Yeah.
Keep it high and tight, man. I don't know. All right. You got anything to say about that game, Corey?
Yeah, I'm agree with you. At the end of the day, to me, this was the best game. I enjoyed it. And when I watched it, I could see 2 great teams. I mean, I see one team that understood the game was going to come down to who made less mistakes, and they understood the value of the game. And the Jaguars need to understand in games like that, you cannot have turnovers. If you expect to win, you have to hold on to the ball. That's not to say that Miami did take care of the ball very, very well. They ain't had no turnovers. At the end of the day, that game was going to come down to a possession or 2, and they made enough plays. At the end of the day, they made the right plays at the right time. And to be truth be told, I mean, Jaguars really got to look within and ask themselves, can they win big games? I know they can win games, but can you win big games? Because what it takes to win big games is not what they showed on Sunday.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give an incomplete to Jacksonville because I don't know. And it's almost the same thing because we talked about this last year. I don't know whether their quarterback is good or bad, and I always leave a game trying to figure out whether Trevor is good or bad. I don't know. And he doesn't do anything really great. He don't do anything really bad. I don't know. I guess it'd probably be another season of us not knowing whether he's good or bad. I don't know. But I don't think he's a superstar, even though he's the highest paid quarterback in the game.
No.
I don't think he's that. But speaking of quarterbacks I don't like, the Steelers and the Falcons. Hey, what was your boy Russell out there doing, man? I'm so sick of him.
Man, oh my God. Why? Why is this man on the sideline? Full shoulder pass. You're inactive. You're not getting in the game, bro. Like, why you got shoulder pass? You look like a doofus. And I'm
Yeah.
out here trying to defend you, and you make me look stupid.
Yo,
Why
your
do
boy
you
be wild. That's why I told you, man, that the stories of him on the plane, walking up and down the aisles, just doing too much. This is prime Russell Wilson
I
just
think he got
doing too
CTA.
much.
I think he got CTA. I think that
Come on, man.
he had too many times, man.
I'm pretty sure he is a good human being, but I
Yeah.
just don't want him on my football team.
You retarded, man.
I just don't want him on my football team.
But hey, they screaming for him though. Every Steelers fans, when they saw Justin Fields out there, oh my God. I mean, they won, but it was not because of Justin Fields. Justin Fields still looked like he can't throw the football at all and get it down the field. But thankfully, Kirk Cousins is trash. Like Kirk Cousins cannot push off his back leg. They ran majority of their game out of shotgun because he cannot sit under center. He cannot do drop back and throw the ball. He cannot plant on that Achilles. And he stole from Atlanta. And I'm glad he didn't rob us. At the end of the day, we say, hey, y'all go ahead and take him. That was the smartest move done by our organization I ain't seen this offseason. Golly.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, when I saw, because unfortunately in our area we had to watch the Steelers and the Falcons, so that was on the big TV. So I'm watching this, and the very first snap that Justin Fields took, he fumbled the ball on the snap. And I'm gonna tell you, every time I watch Justin Fields, I think Willie Beeman. You remember Willie Beeman? I just think Willie Beeman, man. Like when Jamie Foxx played Willie Beeman, I think that's who Justin Fields is, man. As far as the Falcons, the fans are gonna be asking for Penix real soon. That's what I took from this game. Like, it's gonna be a problem in the locker room because we're not gonna give Kirk time to even do anything. That's thing one. The second thing that I noticed with the Falcons is the first 3 plays of the game, they gave it to Bijan Robinson. You could tell Arthur Smith was not there. You could tell Arthur wasn't there. You got anything else for this?
Man, I'm ready to move on.
Chargers Raiders, man. What you got?
Chargers Raiders, J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, man.
That's a
proud
man.
of that young man. Proud of that young man.
Yeah, finally staying healthy.
He can come back from Achilles. I don't think it was ever a question. Oh my Lord. I don't think it was ever a question of whether J.K. Dobbins could play or not. The question is going to come down to, can he remain healthy? I think that's everybody's question. At the end of the day, J.K. Dobbins has not had the ability to stay healthy for a whole season. And his counterpart, same thing. Gus Edwards, neither good, neither. Is staying healthy. Their teammates in the IR. They stay on the IR together. They stay in the training room. They're always those guys sitting on the table, legs string out, talking to each other. But if they can stay healthy, they're good friends. They've been doing each other for a long time. You know, counterparts in the locker room.
They got matching crutches.
I'm trying to tell you, you got to be side by side.
Magic crutches.
Always rehabbing together.
They rehabbing together, side by side. How you doing this week, man? I'm pretty sure one of them get healthy and one of them come back. Hey, back again, man. Hey, I missed you. 2 weeks you out. You ran pretty good. Yeah, but if JK can stay healthy, I think he's going to be good, but that's the question. Can he stay healthy? But I am afraid for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert did look good, but will he be allowed to put up the numbers that he been putting up? I mean, at the end of the day, they really plan on running the ball.
I mean, do we not know who Jim Harbaugh is? Like, this is what he do. This is what he do in college. This is what he did at NFL. Like, this is what he do. He run the ball like that, and that's what it's gonna be. I am happy for J.K. Dobbins, but I'm giving this 6 weeks tops. 6 weeks tops.
Where you said that?
You said what?
Yeah.
I'm no Twitter doctor, but
Good
listen,
one.
man. The man ain't played football in 2 years. And yeah. I give
Yeah.
it 6 weeks tops, man. Yeah, nah. But I wish him well though. I mean, they only gave him what? How many carries he had? 10 carries?
Yeah.
32
10
carries?
for 135, one touchdown.
Yeah. If they keep 10 tackles, I mean, keep him
10
getting tackled
carries.
less, keep getting tackled less than 10 times a game. I wouldn't count his carries. I count how many times he get tackled. He can
Yeah.
only get tackled 10 times a game.
Yeah.
So if he get out of bounds, he might get another carry. I don't know. All right, Seahawks, Broncos.
Oh, I do
Oh,
want to say same old Raiders.
same
Raiders
over.
want to lose a game and fight. Fight in the game, man. Don't fight after the game, brothers. Like we want to see that fight during the game.
Is that what you
Not
want?
after the game. After you lose, you over here trying to warm people's jaws up. Nah, man. Fight in the game.
And look, this is another organization. They fall into that pit like Cincinnati. You went and you got Devontae Adams.
Mhm.
And then we sitting out here bringing in Gardner Minshew. Those two directions just don't go together. They just don't go together. Like you could have went and got him a quarterback. You could have did all types of stuff. Just trade Devontae Adams and let's be done with this thing. Like y'all just want to stink. Like y'all just want to stink. Like, and that's just what it is. They're not gonna be good for a long time.
Let's still get LT though. LT, you got something to mention about Chargers? Raiders?
Nah.
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 They the same old Raiders. I knew all the players was excited to come back and play for Antonio, but it's the same old. Until you get a quarterback, the way this NFL is set up, you have to have a quarterback to win.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a quarterback, you can have the best defensive ends, nose tackle, wide receiver. But unless somebody can throw that wide receiver the football, you're just not gonna win games.
Yeah, every man got to have a code. Like every team got to have an identity. What are their identity? What do they do well?
The defensive line, but 10 carries, 135 yards. It's not even that.
Exactly. What do they do well?
Eric all looked good against
Don't do nothing well.
surprised me, so maybe that's what it was. But the
Don't
defensive
do
line,
well.
They don't. Yeah, I can't think of nothing they do well. Seahawks and Broncos.
man. Bo Nix tricked us this preseason.
Trick who?
He tricked me.
Okay, there you go. Let's take some ownership. Let's take
That
some
man
accountability
looked good
here.
in preseason, man. He looked good in preseason. I watched the game. He looked bad week 1. Balls was overthrown, thrown in the dirt.
Mhm.
I got a number for you. I got a number for you.
Man.
I got a number for you, Hoodie. 26 for 42 for 138 yards.
42 times. God.
42 times and 138 yards.
He was slinging that thing out there.
He's slinging it nowhere.
Slinging it
nowhere. Slinging it nowhere.
Dumping that joint off.
Golly, slinging that joke. Ain't nobody getting none of it.
That down shorted. Hey, look. This thing, I don't know. Bo Nix gonna mess around and get some people fired. You draft that man in the first round. All right, Seahawks, man. Why did Seahawks win?
Seahawks won because of Bo Nix. I mean, they I think they caught on earlier. First, they thought about throwing the ball. They said, "Hold on, this guy on the other side, he looked like he throwing the ball a lot and looked like he can't do it. Let's just let him do what he gonna do. We gonna run the ball." And that's what they did. They turned the hose off on Geno, and they let him just keep throwing that junk nowhere. 20 carries for 103 yards and a touchdown for Kenneth Walker. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah. And I think he got a little banged up at the end though.
Kenneth Walker, yeah, I do believe so. Maybe so. We'll have to find out because at the end they like this. They had it's hard to tell at the end of the games. Is he banged up or is the game so out of reach that you don't really want to put him back out there? Yeah. I don't know. It's around that range. They can make the excuse that he won't no longer need it, so we want to put. Yeah, but nah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see.
Cowboys Browns.
Let LT go.
The stress on this man's face. And start with the Cowboys.
Start
Start with
my
the
boy.
Cowboys.
No, I gotta start with the Browns. Start my boy. He need to be on this show. Start Jameson Williams. Start Jameis, man. Deshaun Watson is washed. I ain't gonna say he washed up, but he don't belong anymore. And to pay that man all that guaranteed money, you force your hand. He got to start, right? But he just the players don't seem like they want to play with him. The offensive line don't seem like they want to block for him. The wide receivers ain't going to get his passes. He just look bad out there.
Hey,
He
Hoodie.
seems like he the only one that want to be out there. And
Hey,
he's
Hoodie. Hoodie, that ball got cooties on it, and don't nobody want to touch it. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure. You can't come out and say this, but I'm pretty sure they talked terrible about this man when he walked back. Like I told Corey, I said, here goes the problem. We found out about his new allegations.
I haven't even heard about this.
We found he didn't caught some more. He didn't caught some more, but we found out about these new allegations. But the problem is he been knowing about these allegations probably all week. So his mind ain't never in the game. His mind ain't never in the game. And I don't know how. I don't know who wrote this contract. They ain't had no outs, but ain't no way I'm giving this man a contract and they ain't had no outs for more allegations. Like the Browns, they really tore this thing up. They really tore this thing up. Deshaun Watson is, and I'm not even gonna get into whether he did it or not did it, or I'm gonna tell you, man, if you got this many allegations, it might be a little bit of truth to it. It might be. But back to the game at hand. Deshaun Watson is looking like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
That's crazy to say.
There's no lies being told. No lies being told here. 24 for 45, 169 yards. He threw it 21 more yards than Bo Nix. 31 to be exact than Bo Nix.
I mean, myself personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. I support Deshaun Watson, man. I think he's done wrong, man, in this situation. I ain't got no problem with Deshaun Watson. I think at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson is playing for the Browns. And I think the Browns have never been a good team for quarterbacks. I think if you get out of there, he'll return to his old luster. At the end of the day, you might have to send a couple masseuses his way. He'll get the job done. But to be honest, I mean, I don't know, man. The new allegation, I believe when it rains, it pours, man. I don't think a lot of the stuff that's been done to him is quite honestly done right, because at the end of the day, if it's not criminal and it seems to be money situation, I think at the end of the day, they like to run along. I done said my point several times on Deshaun Watson, but nah, man, I don't want to pour down on this man anymore. At the end of the day, I believe once it's said and done, it's supposed to be said and done. When it's going to be over? When is it going to be over? When is man going to be able to get a clean slate?
I don't even know what he did yet, but I believe it.
You don't know
And look here, I might be in the minority here. If they cut him, they would have to pay him $92 million. He would have 120 million dead cap, and I still do it. I still do it. I do it. I would admit that I was wrong, and I would still do it. I just wouldn't want him in my organization.
Veteran minimum.
Are y'all aware? Is the GM that signed him? Is he still there, or they got a brand new general manager?
No, he's still there.
Yeah, he can't cut him. A new GM could, but not
I don't know, man. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I would. It's a distraction. Even if he's innocent, Corey.
Yeah.
Like, man, who want to sit up there and be answering questions about?
Oh, we got a question on that. That bears a question. So, was it right to cut? What's old boy with the knee? Kaepernick, was they right for cut? You know what I'm saying? Not signing him. Is it right for a team not signing him? Because they don't want to deal with the distractions.
That's a good point.
If we're going to say they should be able to cut him because they don't want to deal with the distractions, so they should not be able to sign Kaepernick because they don't want to deal with the distraction. At the end of the day, I think the question always comes down to whether a player can play or not. Now, the question whether Deshaun Watson can play, I'm going to attribute that to being with the Browns. I think the Browns struggle with quarterbacks, especially different types of quarterbacks. I don't think this Deshaun Watson belongs in that system. I think you need to put him somewhere else. Let him.
I watched Joe Flacco. I watched Joe Flacco look pretty decent last year. Secondly, if I understand the question, right? The question you have, but I think it's just a little bit different between somebody taking a knee for civil rights and a guy that likes to to sexually assault people. There's a big difference there. There's a difference in distractions. I think there's a difference in distraction.
Sexual assault is not. He wasn't charged with sexual assault, so that's an allegation that's not yet found.
Okay, that's the current allegation again.
Yeah, but he has never been charged.
Again. I'm just saying again. That's a new allegation again.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to say, like, at the end of the day, distractions are distractions, regardless whether you want to say what it is. If a problem is, like, we can mention a lot of distractions that players conduct. If they are distractions, then cut them in. Or don't sign.
And listen, I believe that sooner than not, I do not believe that he gets to fulfill this contract. I think at some point it just becomes too much and not enough at the same time. If that makes sense. Yeah. Deshaun Watson is the definition of too much and not enough at the same time. And so, with that being said, I'm saying that whether he's guilty or not, I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear it. And that's just where I'm at with it. As far as the game, though, are the Cowboys for real?
I think the Cowboys I've been thought the Cowboys was a good team. I think the problem with the Cowboys is they ain't beating the 49ers. I don't care what they do. At the end of the day, we know how this story ends. They're going to meet the 49ers in the playoffs, and they're going to lose.
Well, I mean, here goes the thing. The Cowboys defense looked good. I don't know if it's Deshaun Watson being bad or they were just good again. I don't know. Zeke was serviceable. He was serviceable. Like, I mean, he did not look like the guy that we saw in the summertime that was tripping over his feet. He looked serviceable. Dak, serviceable. CeeDee Lamb is going to be CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. I think they got a puncher's chance, man. Is that what they call it? Puncher's chance. I don't know if they're for real or not, but
they're going to be exactly the same. I feel like I read this book before I seen this movie. Like Corey said, they'll probably make the playoffs, first round exit, second round. But it just depends when they play the 49ers.
I'm gonna tell you though, the one thing that I will say is Jerry Jones has been negotiating with terrorists, like how he allowed Dak to strong arm him over this contract, how he allowed CD to strong arm. You know Michael's next, right?
Yeah. And I don't have no problem with Dak. I don't have no problem with Jared paying the people that he paid. I think Dak is deserving of that money. And it's just me. At the end of the day, if a player can show that he's deserving of that money and he's asking for something that he can clearly show that he deserves, you should pay that man or let him go and get the money that he deserves somewhere else. I'm very, very consistent on that. If you don't want to pay him, let him go.
Because here goes the thing, Corey. If you're going to get to the point where you're going to pay the guy anyway, right? If you get to that point where you're going to pay a guy anyway, just pay him. Because the longer you drag it out, the more expensive it is. It's never cheaper tomorrow. There's not been a single contract that's cheaper tomorrow. So when it gets brought up, you're better off just going to be the first guy to pay him, not the last guy. Like, we sitting here at $60 million, Corey. You feel good about that? I don't feel good about that.
I think the number support that Dak Prescott is worth $60 million. He is throwing the freaking football. At the end of the day, this is what you agree with. Only thing people can bring up, the reason they will be harsh critics on Dak Prescott is his playoffs. But if I turn around and tell you Lamar Jackson is the same way in the playoffs as Dak Prescott, you would say Lamar Jackson is worthy of his money. But I'm telling you, if you're going to discount all of that stuff, in the regular season, Dak Prescott has thrown excellent. His numbers is comparable to Pat Mahomes. It just is what it is.
Hey,
If we're going to pay Trevor Lawrence all this money, why shouldn't Dak Prescott give his money too?
I
Like,
agree.
why are we? I don't
Say
get
what?
it.
Hamp, to your point earlier that you said earlier on the show, that should be the main goal, is to draft a guy and for him to be the highest paid at his position, or to be
Yeah.
a top 5 player at his position. And Dak has been doing that consistently. Not the first contract we was asking, about 5 years ago, should he get 40, 45? I mean, should he get 40, $45 million a year? I mean, since then, he's been consistent, down the board, a top 5 quarterback. I think that's the goal. And then, if not, then what? You start all over again?
Hey, listen, man. I get it. I'm not. It's one of those tricky positions, and maybe it's because I just don't believe. Put it like this: when you compare him to Lamar Jackson, I can say Lamar Jackson, 2 MVPs,
Mm,
2 times he was the best player in this league, and he's 25 years old.
mhm.
Right? I just do not see that with Dak Prescott. I just don't see it. And what's going to end up happening with this contract, what I think we're going to see is at some point you got to tell somebody no, and I don't know who you tell no, but the money going to run out. Remember that pizza we was talking about?
Mhm.
Dak took a big piece of that piece. CeeDee Lamb took a big piece of that piece. And I'm gonna tell you, I think it's time for Michael Parsons to ask for a slice. It's about time to get his slice.
I think we
It's
really
about
need
time.
to dive into that contract and see. I think it's a lot of room to be maneuvered. I think there's a lot of things that you could toss around and do a lot of things, especially with CeeDee Lamb and the way his contract is structured. I think they'll be able to pay all of them, but they're gonna have to get rid of Brandon Cooks, which is, I mean, it's a way you could draft a wide receiver and get rid of Brandon Cooks very easy. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to draft a receiver in this year's draft, and they're going to trade or get rid of Brandon Cooks and get that money to Michael. It's ways to manage that. You could pay a defensive end, a quarterback, and a wide receiver. I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Buccaneers? Buccaneers. Let's move on to the Buccaneers and the Commanders. I don't want to mess that up.
Baker
Bait.
Baker getting it done. Baker getting it done. Another proof that if you put a quarterback in a great situation, he will perform. Because a lot of people wrote Baker off. When Baker got there, he was supposed to be a backup quarterback. He took over and showed that if you put him in the right place with pieces around him, he can perform. Like I said, at the end of the day, if you surround quarterbacks with talent, they can perform. And I think this is an indictment on organizations that take quarterback at the wrong time. At the wrong time. And you try to put these quarterbacks in a situation and demand them to succeed when you're incompetent. You're not competent enough to build a team. We need to put more ownership on these organizations for putting these quarterbacks in bad situations. At the end of the day, that's the reason why I'm not going to come down on Bryce too hard. Because what does he have? How do we know if he not put in the same position as a Geno Smith, as a Baker Mayfield, as a Sam Darnold? And they surround him with talent that he can't perform. But we're putting it on this guy when he, like, oh my God, who wants to be in that situation? Who wants to be
Good
there?
point, Corey. That's a real good point.
Who we can look at that team and say they have nothing. They have nothing that I look. It's not a player on that team that's starting on nobody else's team. Who is starting? Name a player that's going to somebody else's roster right now. You, all us fans right now, who do you want off their team? Off Carolina Panthers right now. Derek Brown? Yeah, that all right. Derek Brown. Name another position that you would take and start on your team. That
But
is
I feel like they have like one of the most expensive offensive lines in the NFL.
They do.
that
I
doesn't
feel
make
like
it
they do.
good.
I'm just saying. We talk about top
Pour money in a
end
lot of
position.
things. I can pour money in a lot of things. It don't make it good. It doesn't make it good.
That pass stink, boy. That piece
Yeah.
of the pass stink.
Yeah.
and all that money on the offensive line when you don't have the quarterback or the pieces to get open.
Man, look, we're not gonna keep bashing the Panthers here.
What Jared say?
we not. Nah.
What was Jared's best slogan of the year when he told CD Lamb? He said, hey, at the end of the day, what he say? He said, you don't have to be smart to make money.
Yeah.
You could be very talented.
You could be lucky.
You could be lucky, but you got to be smart to keep it. You can give that GM all the money in the world. If he don't know what to do with it, I don't care where he spend it at. He can spend it on everything. If he don't know how to build a team, he's throwing that money right down the drain.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Organization is sorry. It's stupid.
Yeah, well, back to the Commanders and Buccaneers. All right, so I get what you're saying about the Baker Mayfield thing, right? But I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit on it. The reason why I'm gonna pump the brakes is I remember last year 6 different times the Commanders gave up at least 37 points. And what did that defense do to get better? You get my point? So, like, it's just a bad team. It's just that we just don't. It's just not recognized as a bad team as it should. But they really not that good. I mean, are they really that much better than the Commanders?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think if they played each other, it'd be a dog fight. It'd be a dog fight. It'd be a dog fight.
I think the Buccaneers are a good team.
I'm talking about the Commanders. If the Commanders played the Panthers, it'd be a dog.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
No. I think the Commanders actually, I don't know. I don't think they're bad. I just think they're middle of the pack team. I think they be middle of the pack. I don't think they're bad.
I think Carolina's just worse.
Dog water.
Hey, look here. Nobody's talking about this now. The guys that caught all the passes for the Commanders, I'm saying what they got in common. It's the person that led them in receiving was Austin Eckler. And then it was Brian Robinson. And then I think it was like Ertz and then Luke McCaffrey. So that tell you one thing that those guys all have in common. They ain't going about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Those guys operate in the same spot. So that tells me that Jayden Daniels, I get what he was saying. He the new shining tour. But is he that much different than Bryce right now? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see.
At least he proved that he can run the ball.
I'm just saying.
He can get up out of there.
Yep. All right, but the Buccaneers, I mean, Mike Evans, I mean, he's just
Mike Evans?
Yeah, Mike Evans.
The question was, is Mike Evans better than Devontae Adams? I've been asking this question 2 offseasons in a row. Who's the better of the bunch? And I keep showing these statistics that people want to keep putting Devontae Adams top 5, but they forget Mike Evans. I just don't understand how that's done. Mike Evans has had less as far as quarterback play than Devontae Adams, and he has performed, if not better, the same. But he's constantly left off that top 5. We constantly never like to bring his name up.
I don't know, Corey. You might be right, man.
Yeah, he might be right. He has been saying it for a long time. I kept seeing Devontae Adams, but
I don't know, man. Gardner Minshew, though. Man, Gardner Minshew.
I mean, I think that's the same thing that Mike Evans probably had a Gardner Minshew one year, and he put up 1,000 yards with him. If we go through his quarterbacks, I'm pretty sure we're gonna find a Gardner Minshew, and he still put up numbers.
And Devontae gonna put up 1,000 too. So
yeah,
let's say they even. You know what? I will concede the fact that those two are on the same level. I just can't.
Mike Evans has been great with a bad quarterback. He has always been great. Mike Evans has never been bad.
Okay.
No.
Neither has Devontae. Here you go. Lions and Rams.
Lions and Rams.
Overtime. That was a good game.
that was good.
Jameson Williams had his coming out party.
Yeah.
Yeah, J-Mo had his coming out party.
Yeah, I think it's a tough game when you lose Puka. It was a tough game the minute I think the Rams looked very, very great when they had all their horses. The minute Puka went down, their offense seemed to slow a little bit, a little bit. They was coming out slinging that rock, and it kind of slowed. It kind of slowed. I don't think they was able to keep up, and the Lions sensed it, and they started to run the ball. Do was out of it. We're gonna limit the possessions, and we're gonna run the ball, and we know we're gonna come out at the top, and that's what they did. I mean, they came out at the top at the end.
I don't know, man.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I thought when Puka came out the game, I thought it was about 4 or 5 different receivers that stepped up in his position. They weren't dropping passes. It was no it wasn't no hiccup for me. The coaching, like, it's just a bunch of passing. I think they dropped back like 18 straight times.
Yeah,
49 passes.
No
49.
running the ball,
yeah,
just one dimensional pass the ball.
and not to
Like
mention
that
this,
now.
I think it made it easier for Matthew Stafford
Mm.
because he wanted to go to his first read anyway. It was getting complicated with Puka and Cooper out there. You saw it. He did. I would throw it to him 21 times. 21 times is wild, Corey. 21
Yeah,
times.
I think it's a basis of the dynamic of Puka. Puka, let's say you throw the ball to Puka, he's getting more yards and you getting less throws. You can look at it, he threw the ball 49 times. I don't think it takes 49 times as Puka's in the game. It takes maybe 30 times, and he's getting more yards behind it. You get more bang for your buck. Like I could throw the ball 39 times because a guy only getting 5 yards with his throw. But if a guy give me 15, 20 yards with a throw, Puka is eating it in bunches. So I'm saying the possessions are a lot different than going to these other guys. It's not that you can't complete it because Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. He can get the ball to possession receivers. But at the end of the day, Puka is dynamic. He's getting it down the field, runs after the catch, jump balls. He is good at what he does, and he's better than the other guys. It's just it. Cooper Cup is dynamic too, but when you have two of those guys, it's good. It's good.
Okay. Now going to the last night's game. What you think about that?
Y'all want to
Jets had the 49ers.
Well, I'll start off and say, hey, the Jets did not show me what I thought they had. At the end of the day, I think the 49ers, they saw a limp dog and they leaned on him. They made sure that dog fell down. They beat them handily. The score is not indicative of how that game went. They beat them boys in every facet. And I think Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Like, oh my God, he drew up a game plan and showed how he can. I mean, did we see what he did with Debo Samuels? Did we see what he did with Jordan Mason? He put these guys in positions to succeed. You take two of his best assets, two of his best pieces, take them out the equation, and he still put up 32 points. You take out Ayu, who was on the pitch count. You take out Christian McCaffrey, and he still used the things that he had and performed. Jawan Jennings. I mean, everything about this game screamed that Kyle Shanahan can get it done. He could put pieces in place to succeed. And I mean, they're coming to Minnesota next week. And I gotta say, man, we're gonna have a tough test. It's a tall glass of water.
Mm.
Oh my God.
What you got, Hoodie?
The Jets' first drive, it looked fast paced. The way Aaron Rodgers was getting the ball out, Garrett Wilson looked good. After that, that was it. That's all they had. They used up all they good play call on that first drive, and like Corey said, the 49ers beat them on all aspects of the game. The Jets just look one and done, one series and done. They ain't look the same. We stopped pinning their ears back, getting to Aaron, getting them flustered. I don't know. Al Lazard stepped up in the late on in the game. He had some drop passes.
Yeah. But it's like this, right? Like when we were talking about Kirk Cousins. The only thing worse than a 36-year-old coming off an Achilles is a 40-year-old coming off of one. And so I do believe that a lot of you guys were very optimistic about Aaron Rodgers. I think that if you can get Aaron Rodgers to be a middle of the pack quarterback, it's going to be a good season for you. There's a lot of people thinking that he was going to be better than that. But if you get middle of the pack out of him, it's going to be a good season. I don't think that he's going to be that much of a needle mover. Outside of Garrett Wilson, those other receivers ain't that good. Mike Williams, he might be washed.
Can I say one thing, though?
What's that?
I think Aaron Rodgers showed what he always showed against the 49ers. He doesn't play particularly well against the 49ers regardless, even when he was healthy. We can pull up all types of statistics. Aaron Rodgers played about a basic game that he always plays against his team. It's a couple of players that always struggle against the 49ers, one being Dak Prescott, the other being Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not surprised that he struggled against him this time. I expected it, quite frankly, but I expected that Jets defense to play a lot better than they showed. They did not show me what they've been showing me. Quite frankly, the 49ers ran the ball down their throat. They did what they wanted to do with it. They had their way with them. They caught them with their pants down. And oh my God, they need to go to the drawing board. Ask themselves, are they going to be a respectable team this year? Because at the end of the day, it's a lot of teams out there licking their chops, saying if you cannot stop this run game, that's what we're going to do. They're going to have to show that they can stop it.
Yeah, but Corey, and here goes the thing: that defense, the biggest difference is they had Bryce Huff last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of Bryce Huff. They brought in Hassan Reddick, and Hassan Reddick ain't playing football. So I do believe the team gets better with a pass rusher, and so that right there might be the issue. But they finding that boy $800,000 a week.
Yeah, but I'm not. Same thing I said in the same podcast is, I don't blame players for wanting. At the end of the day, and I don't like. If I was Hassan Reddick, I'd stand on my toes too. I said I wanted my contract. Y'all traded for me, and I think you trade for a guy. The expectation is for you to pay that guy, not for you to tell me I got to come in to get paid. I was holding out at the other organization because I didn't get paid. Now you're going to put me in this thing and try to tell me you're going to hold on to my contract. But at the end of the day, I want my money. If I was playing like trash, guess what you would do? You would cut me.
Here goes the thing, Corey. Okay. Even with the Eagles, and the same thing with the Jets, it's not that teams don't want to pay him. It's how much. And that's where the holdup is at. It's how much. So I'm sure the Jets had every intention to get this man a contract when they traded for him. But they did not expect him to come in there and say, I want to be paid like Nick Bosa. And that's the problem.
How do we know that's what he asking? It's the same thing with the Ayuk situation over and over. We're going off the organization is going to badmouth these players because they want to make them seem absurd. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to pay it, allow somebody else to pay it.
Hey, I get it, man. But it is time to say goodbye. What's your closing argument there, Corey? What you got?
Hey, Vikings. I think it's going to be an interesting year. I'm excited to see what this defense does because I'm preparing for next year. I don't mean no harm. I'm preparing for next year. But this defense, if it can step up and show me they can be top 5, I think when we get JJ McCartney, we can actually do some interesting things, which I've been hoping for. I'm gonna leave it right there with my team because I love my team. Vikings, baby.
Hey, what you got, Hoodie?
I think it was a great week of football, man. I'm so excited to get back into it, man. Very fun week. We had the game on Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday, Monday. Fun week of football. I'm excited. Fans up, fans for the win again. We'll see Buffalo and Miami. We in the shade, they in the sun. Let's get it.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm gonna tell you, man, this is my favorite time of the year. This is like a holiday. This is like a holiday to me, man. I love when football starts. And most importantly, I love talking football with my friends. It's been real. And like always, love yours. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
Uh-oh.